Amazing too is that the angels were created, but they saw God, but they're getting to know him. And so when they were created, it's not like they had perfect knowledge of God. So how are they getting to know God? The Bible tells us how the angels are getting to know God. They're getting to know God by seeing God work in the lives of mankind. And so when he sees that he's forgiving, that of the angels, they had one opportunity. So, but they're learning his mercy and his grace and the way he works. And so by what is happening on this earth, they are getting to know him too. And when the Bible says that we're to seek God, if it didn't tell us to seek God, we wouldn't have any idea who he is or what he is. And so, we're not going to know him unless we make an effort to know him. And we're going to see in our story today that there were people in the same household, well, we saw it last week, that didn't make an effort to know him. And yet then there were other people that did make that effort. And of course, if you make an effort to know God, your life is going to turn out totally different. So it is to our advantage to seek after God. And why is it hard to seek after God?
We're sinners.
Well, we're sinners, yes. And why else? We have never seen him. It is a whole realm that we cannot see, we cannot touch, we cannot feel. And so we have to then, I want to say about having doubts, and I tell my kids this, I've had doubts. Not recently, but after I'd gone to church for many years, is there really a God out there? Is there really, someone that's controlling all of this? Is that really what's going on? And of course, what settles those doubts in a person? I feel the number one thing that settles those doubts in a person is creation. This orderly, unbelievably fabulous universe, and even the human body. How could it possibly have come into existence without an intelligent mind? So the point is, there is an intelligent being out there. We know that for sure. And even the scientists will say that's true. And so then, who is this intelligent person? And the God of the Bible is the only reasonable explanation of who this intelligent, God is. And so, we have to determine we're going to seek God, because otherwise it's not something that just we would do. And then, of course, our sinful hearts, and because we can't see him, and because we live our life, urgency of the present, we have to make it a conscientious, concerted effort. Children, I feel, with your. So anyway, we just need to pray that. We're doing a study right now in the gifts, and it's in Ephesians, but the pastor teacher, so we're teachers. Well, one of the Greek definitions, what's said about the teacher, is you don't just impart information, but your whole goal is to impart the will for the people to live according to that information. And so when we're teaching those classes, I know we teach application, but our desire is that they would follow and do this. And just because they hear it doesn't mean that they're going to do that. So that should be our prayer. There was a guy one time, and he was preaching, and he says, well, I've told you everything. I've preached the sermon. Now my job is done. But you know what? Is that true? Do you know why it's not done? It's because once I have taught a lesson to you, now you know what I know. But what do I still have to do? I still have to trust God. I still need to obey. I still need to have faith. And just because I know the information doesn't make it any easier to do that. So now that you know the information and I know the information, we're on the same level now. Now we both have to do it. And it's not any easier for a teacher than it is for anybody else. We have the choice now at that point. All right. We can start with Eddie today. And Eddie's had a long vacation. I just don't know what he's been doing over this vacation. And you know what? I'm not going to know, because I'm not going to ask him. Oh. All right. Well, oh, well, hi, Eddie. How are you today? Well, I'm not very good. I had a nice vacation. I know you didn't ask, but I just want you to know I had a nice vacation. And I didn't have to go to school. And I'm thinking, that's it. I'm done with it. Well, Eddie, why do you want to give up school? Well, because there's some bullies. And bullies, they always pick on the smallest kid. Bullies always pick on someone smaller than they are. Well, who do you think's smaller than everyone? It's me. Every bully in school finds Eddie sooner or later. And I'm just tired of it. Well, Eddie, I'm glad you came today because we're going to learn what you do with a bully. Well, you run. You hide. You skedaddle, you get out of there. Well, Eddie, now you're going to find that, we're going to have a little bit something different then. So I think you ought to stick around. This is going to be really good for you. Well, I'm glad I came today because I don't know what to do. I just get angry, then I cry, then I'm not going to tell you what I do. It's just awful. Well, all right, Eddie. Well, I'm glad you're here. So anyway, will you just listen? Well, I'm going to listen. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye. Love you all. Okay. Eddie and bullies. All right. So we're going to have a bully today. Now, guys,